The Las Vegas Raiders motto has always been commitment to excellence and just win, baby. So, is the nation really locked in on winning? Are they more about the players that play for this organization? Let's break it all down. Let's get unleashed.
The autumn wind is a pirate, blustering in from sea. With a rollicking song he sweeps along, swaggering boisterously. His face is weather-beaten. He wears a hooded sash, with a silver hat about his head, and a bristling black mustache. He growls as he storms the country, a villain big and bold. And the trees all shake and quiver and quake as he robs them of their gold. The autumn wind is a raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh when he's conquered and won.
You know what I like to do? Just follow me on this one.
Hey, that fire still burns bright here in Las Vegas.
And one future.
Boys,
Talk about commitment to excellence, just win, baby. Once a Raider, always a Raider. You walk in this building, you can feel it.
It starts with our DNA. Ill intent, physicality.
7 memorable decades, 30 Pro Football Hall of Famers, 25 postseason victories, 5 AFL and AFC championships, and 3 Super Bowl titles. Though names, faces, and locations have changed, one constant remains: the unyielding will to win.
Oh, shut your bitch ass up. Damn, she gets excited every time I go live. What is good, man? What's up? Shout out to everybody already in the building. Sorry I'm late. Sorry about the dog. We have all kinds of camp news, details to go over, stuff to talk about, guys changing positions. Also, all kinds of trade rumors. Some people think, are not possible, are way out of our realm, out of our reach. And some people think way, way different. So, man, we're going to break it all down. We're going to talk about it. But first, of course, chat lives matter. That is not the right glasses. Damn it. Oh. What's good? Furpo in the building. Raiders. Appreciate you. Raider fan for life. What's good? What's good? Queen Taylor, how you doing? How you doing? Appreciate you. LVR, what's good? Horror Fanatic, what's good? What's good, man? Shout out to you being in the building. All right, so again, apologize for the dog. Somebody walked in right when I started the live, and the dog, of course, had to say hello. So the GOAT, Tom Brady, was in the building talking to players, talked it up maybe for the first time with Brock Bowers. I don't know. Brock Bowers said he hadn't got to meet him, so this was possibly the first time that a lot of players in the building actually got to meet Tom Brady. From what I hear, he spent most of the time talking to Dante Thornton Jr. Imagine that, right? I mean, he's only been the talk of camp since he's been drafted, right? Since they went out there, started putting in work, started throwing the ball around. The guy's been all over, everywhere, between NFL Network, ESPN, all the media, all the content creators, right? He is him. Or so we think. Please, God, let it be true, right? But yeah, Tom Brady, the GOAT, out there chopping it up with players. Had a little clipboard in his hand and some paper. I don't know if he was taking notes. The person I've been talking to was not there today, unfortunately. The one day Tom Brady goes, so I don't have as much information as I had in the past, but I still got some. Don't worry. But yeah, Tom Brady out there walking around with spy tech. Thank you, Mark Davis. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, man, for bringing in these dudes. They have really changed the culture, changed the building. Tom Brady's over there talking, with the speculated Cam Miller pick, which a lot of people say that was a Tom Brady pick, right? Tom Brady said he wanted Cam Miller. Some people said he was over there coaching him up. From what I seen and heard, that they didn't really talk much. He was just kind of watching his throwing motions, standing in the background. But it's still huge, right? For a guy Division I to get drafted by Tom Brady because Tom Brady wanted you on the team and then is out there, watching you in camp. It's got to be overwhelming for a kid like that or a young man like that. Alex M, what's good? Hawaiian Candy. Shout out, everybody. But yeah, how's everybody feeling on this Friday night? How was your week? Y'all made it through. It's over, right? Kick back, chill. Do what you do to get in your mood. Let's talk football, man. Let's talk football. All kinds of shit going on. Players moving positions. No, not the kind of positions you're thinking about. Wilkins is gone. Players, I have to just keep going with that. But players moving positions, man. Jordan Meredith running with the ones again today. JPJ, not at right guard. Alex Kappa at right guard today. JPJ back with the twos. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know, what is y'all opinion? Before I give you mine, I'm going to talk on something else. I'm going to give y'all a chance, and then I'm going to read it. Unlike the past where I read it, 30, 40 minutes, an hour, 3 hours later, I'm going to give y'all a chance to answer. What is your opinion on the JPJ thing? What do you think is going on? Yesterday, he was running with the ones, like I told y'all, at right guard. Today, he's back with the twos. So, give me y'all's take, please. Michael Mayer. We're going to go with Michael Mayer. Another touchdown. Possibly two. I'm not positive. Anyways, it seems to be, no matter whether it's Aiden, whether it's Gino, Michael Mayer is a target and has been a problem. The catches that he's made have been contested. They've been spectacular catches. The man's high pointing the ball. Kind of like the game that we won. Does anybody remember that game against the Jets? Who was the quarterback? I'm just saying. Throwing the ball up like Big Mike was known to do at Notre Dame. A reason he was drafted number 2. Maybe we have some players on this team under Pete Carroll with the right coaching that are going to live up to where they were drafted. Tyree Wilson. Maybe they won't. Maybe they will be traded. Michael Parsons. We'll get to that in a bit. Stay tuned. It's not going to be a long live. It won't be no 2 hours unless y'all just keep me on that long, and I can't leave. You know how I do. But yeah, Michael Mayer is looking better than ever since he's been a Raider. He's faster. He's stronger. Gino and Aiden both, Cam Miller, everybody, whoever's out there, is getting this man the ball. He's getting open, and he's going to be a problem. Along with everybody else on this offense. There hasn't been really anybody that's not a problem. Even, like I said, 7th string, 8th string receiver, 9th string, all these guys are making plays. They're all making catches. Same with the defense, all positions. There's not really too many guys that are, they're not making big plays, but they're still doing their job, right? They're learning, and that's what camp is all about, right? Learning, being a sponge, soaking everything up, and these guys are taking full advantage of it. So, we can't talk enough about the leadership that's out there on the field. But then at times you see them running around with a fucking dinosaur, excuse my language, Um, sorry, it's late. If you watch this, it's probably not late. But running around with a dinosaur, like 5-year-olds, I don't know. Sometimes it's a little wild. But yeah, you got to keep it fun. But sometimes it just seems a little over the top, like last year. And I don't want to refer or compare this year to last year. But man, it just seems at times like, it's a little crazy. It's a little crazy out there. And I don't know who's coming up with these gimmicks and, keeping it fun. If the players all find it fun, or some of them just find it kind of stupid sometimes, like I do. I don't know. But again, shout out to everybody. What do y'all think? Did anybody comment? I know there's like 20 people on right now, so I feel you. No. LG Super Bowl victory is the goal. Man, I think any year Super Bowl victory should be the goal for any team, even if you're the last in the NFL and the bottom of the league, right? I mean, that should be the end all, right? That should be the point of attack. That's what you're searching for. That's what you're trying to conquer. But yeah, I mean, whenever it comes, I'm down with that, bro. I'm down with that. Love the GOAT with us. Nice. Yeah, it's nice to see him out there, There's been a lot of people that were talking about, oh, Tom Brady's going to be hands-on. He's going to be teaching Aiden O'Connell and Geno Smith. And, he's going to be out there helping the receivers and the offensive linemen and coaching on the field. This is the first time we've seen him. Somebody kind of said that, right? A long time ago, months ago, when he took the job, I was like, bro, he has way more other things on his plate than the Las Vegas Raiders. So that's why Spytek was brought in. But it's good to see him, checking in, see what's going on, talking with some of the young guys, introducing himself to everybody on the team because a lot of players don't know him. It was really, really, really funny. If you're not a huge Tom Brady fan, like most of us are not, Jermaine Pratt in his interview asked about Tom Brady. He said, no, I haven't talked to him since the last time I picked him off. Which is absolutely what you want from this team. Fire. Jermaine Pratt, good shit, right? Talk that shit. Can't yell or scream. It's a little late, but, yeah, talk that shit, Jermaine Pratt. Not afraid to be like, yeah, I haven't talked to Tom Brady. The last time was when I picked him off. So, shout out to my guy for picking off Tom Brady for one. And then bragging about it still, right? So, little fun and games. But you love that energy. You love the energy from these guys, the guys in the building. Ooh. Water is not as good as orange drinks. Ugh. Dante, another player I projected on the team. Let's flip and go. Yeah. I got my notes still right here. Dante Thornton. I had Kendrick Lamar, who is over there killing it wherever he got drafted. A lot of talk already about that young kid. Yeah, I mean, shout out to you, for spotting talent. Some of us got it, some of us don't. Persons become a Raider is a nice dream to think about. Hell yeah, it definitely is. Jay will prove his worth in the season. All right, here we go. He's been put at center. What y'all think of JPJ? JPJ is the center starter. I think they just getting everybody acclimated. And could be so Aiden could get time with him too. Well, today he was playing with the second team guard, right guard. So that's a little fishy. I guess I didn't state that. But yes, he wasn't second string center today. he was playing second string right guard. And now I find it kind of funny that 3 days ago, when it all happened, it got changed around. I said they were just same thing you said, right? They want to get the backup quarterback acclimated. You want your backup center acclimated with your starter in case anything happens. But it seems to be more than that. And it doesn't have anything to do with JPJ. I think it has to do with the fact that they're starting to see what Raider Nation sees. They don't know if Alex Kappa's that guy. That's why all of a sudden they're like, okay, Caleb Rogers might be a little green. Had an interview today. Go check it out. Salute, no bueno. What's good, my guy? But yeah, he had an interview today. And, man, hopefully by Sunday, I want to have a video out, of kind of all. So I don't know if I'll be live Sunday. I might just drop videos, but I want to, kind of drop a video, a breakdown of all the press conferences. I don't even know what the hell I'm trying to say. All the press conferences that went over the weekend, because I didn't get to go live during any of them, which sucked because it would be so much easier just to go live and break them down, afterwards. But I didn't get that shit. So yeah, I feel like it's kind of like that, but it seems to be more. It seems to be a lot more. And I don't know if it's, JPJ is being the leader out there, or they just, like I said, feel that maybe Meredith is better at the center position. He's packed on a little bit of pounds, right? He has a little bit more experience than JPJ. I don't know. There's got to be a lot more if he's going from center to back to running with center with the twos to then running with guards with the ones. Now Alex Kappa's back at the right guard spot with the ones, and JPJ is at the guard spot with the twos. So I really think they just want to test everybody, move everybody around, and see where they have. I don't think it's panic button time yet. But again, like I said, man, whoever they decide to go with, Brendan Carroll's been doing this a long time too, like his father. And if he sees guys are better at another position, maybe JPJ is the most athletic. Maybe he can pull better at the guard position. Maybe they don't trust Alex Kappa to get out there fast enough, right? If you're constantly pulling or running the zone one way or another, maybe they just don't feel like he has the athleticism or the speed anymore. So it's a big question, but yeah. Thornton and Beck looking good. Everybody's looked good. Like I said, like they've stood out because they've got most of the catches, and we haven't heard a lot from Jakobi Meyers. Not a lot. Not a lot from a guy that was a 1,000-yard receiver last year that didn't drop any passes. And yes, there's been highlights. I haven't heard of any touchdowns. I haven't heard of any deep balls. I've heard Jakobi a lot of, slants, post routes from the slot receiver position. So that's, I starting to question a little bit of things. Can't wait to see Thornton out there. I can't wait to see any of them out there. Yes, Favre is going to be a good backup. Damn good backup. Much respect to you. Marcus Banks, respect to you, my guy. Appreciate you dropping in. What's good? I hate the Tuck Rule game, but always like Brady. Longtime Michigan fan as well. Nice. What's good, my guy? Bueno, what it do? All right, let me get through this chat real quick. Did I miss something? I've been trying to find close to a game break. Nice. Ugly, yeah. Football, all games are mad expensive. Man, they are crazy, bro. It's ridiculous, especially if you live out of state. You have to travel, get a room, get a rent-a-car. you try to stay next to the stadium, you might as well stay farther and get a rental car. It's that much difference. It's rough, man. They make it rough, and it's only gonna get rougher when we start winning. You don't think those prices aren't gonna go way sky high when they start winning. Guarantee you. What do we got here? It's insane. The only one I could possibly afford is the Niner game. Few planes and picks. Yeah, for sure. Raiders playing the Jags in Vegas. Yes. To be honest, Jakobi probably on his way out is probably his final season as a Raider. Okay, well, let's just start with that right there. So if Jakobi's on his way out and playing his final season as a Raider, is Terry McLaurin better than Jakobi Meyers? And is he worth the maybe only $10 million, $7 million more a season? Will he, 33? I'm sure Jakobi's going to want somewhere around 20, 22. And if you guys think I'm crazy, let me know in the comments below. But I just don't see Jakobi Meyers, who played for, I think, 11 million, 9 his first year, I do believe, and then 11 or something, and 11 and 14 last year. No guaranteed money on his contract. If you really think he's going to go out there and play, with no guaranteed money on his contract for the last little bit of his money, when all these receivers that didn't do near as what he did last year or close to what he did last year are all getting paid, McLaurin, yes, 1,000 yards every single year he's been in the league, except for one, his rookie year, which is only missed it by 8 yards. Scary Terry is ridiculous. So you've seen the title. Do you sign Jakobi Meyers? Let me know in the comments. Do you sign Jakobi Meyers? Or do you trade him for Terry McLaurin? If Terry McLaurin doesn't want to be there, listen, if he doesn't want to be there, he wants to go somewhere else. And this will lead me to my next part of the show, and why. Because we had a little back and forth on IG today. And we'll get into that topic in a minute. But let's just look at this. Let me pull this up. Real quick. All right. Quarterbacks Jakobi Meyers played with, right? 2019. Does anybody know who it was? I know LVR does. You're cheating. Stop. It was Tom Flippin' Brady, the GOAT that we just talked about, being in the building. Las Vegas Raiders, right, in training camp. If you just pulled up, hit that like, subscribe, follow. If you dig this energy, if you dig what I'm putting down, if you're learning something about the Raiders, or, you're just a Raider fan and want to support, like, subscribe, follow, tickle the NOTI bell to turn it on, to be notified of everything that happens. All kinds of shit happening this season, for sure. It's going to be different than last year. But the GOAT, Tom Brady, 2019, is who his quarterback was. Then he gets, some could say another GOAT, a quarterback that I've always, respected, thought if he was ever on a better team, he would be that guy. Has one of the funniest podcasts out there, constantly roasting people. Reminds me of me a little bit. No, I'm just saying. But Cam Newton, I mean, come on. You got Cam Newton throwing you the ball in New England. Then you got none other than, wasn't he Rookie of the Year, Mac Jones, under Josh McDaniels? I mean, come on. And then Bailey Zappi. Not a bad quarterback. A damn good backup. A guy that I believe, Bailey Zappi on the right team with the right coaching staff could actually be a damn good quarterback in the NFL. He's pretty mobile. He can run. He can get out of the pocket. He's just got to find somebody to get him over the hump. And then he comes to Las Vegas. So that was 4 years. 5 years. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 years in the NFL. Then he comes to Las Vegas. Shout out to everybody in the building. Here, let me put this on half and half so I can still see the chat. I don't think we need a receiver, wide receiver core. I'd rather get Michael Parsons. We'll get there. We'll get there, man. We'll get there. Then he has none other than Jimmy Garoppolo. 2023. Also 2023. Brian Hoyer. Also in 2023. Aiden O'Connell. 2024. He has Aiden O'Connell. For some reason, they skipped Gardner Minshew, but I don't know why it's not listed. Gardner Minshew, Ritter, and now Geno Smith throwing him the ball. He's had shout out for the $5 smackaroo. I appreciate you. Thanks for being online tonight, Rebel. It was hard for me. I appreciate you being online right now, man. If you need to talk, hit me up. So. You know, my line's always open. The Raiders hotline's always open. It should be still posted in the community. I'm there, bro. I'm there. Anytime you need to talk, hit me up. Let me know. Message. DM me. But I appreciate you always rocking with the show. Always showing love. Always helping the Raiders Rebel militia grow. Because, yeah, we becoming a militia over here. No, I was kidding. But, yeah, I appreciate you, man. And I hope whatever you're dealing with, it'll pass, bro. It'll pass. It'll pass, little G. But, yeah, Aiden O'Connell and then Jimmy G, right? So, some decent quarterbacks. He's had 1,000-yard season. That was last year with the Raiders, when the Raiders had him and Brock Bowers, right? There was no competition really for him. He was the best player on the field. And this is no knock on Jakobi Meyers. I love Jakobi Meyers, right? Since the day he was brought on, okay, not the day he was brought here. He was a Patriot. It took me a little bit of time. I will admit. It took me time to adjust to Jakobi Meyers. But he's that dog, right? You can't replace what he does on the field. You can't replace his blocking ability. You can't replace, him willing to do whatever it is. You can't replace the fact that you can run reverses, in the rounds. You can let him be quarterback if you really wanted to. There's not a lot that Jakobi Meyers cannot do. The energy, the way people look up to him in the building. That's a lot. It says a lot for Jakobi Meyers and, and his game and where he's at in his career. But we have to call a spade, and many people, even our own content creators and fans, have argued many times that we need a receiver. Jakobi is not a number one. Now all of a sudden we have Dante and a little bit of weapons in the running game, and he could possibly be number one for the nation. I don't understand it. But I've said since day one. Damn, dude. I gotta stop eating hot stuff. I said since day one, Jakobi Meyers is a number one receiver. He had just as good a year as Devontae Adams, the year before, 2 years ago. Way less catches, right? Just as many touchdowns, way less yards, way less attempts. He's a dog. He's a dog in the red zone. He does all the dirty work. None of all that's, irreplaceable, but that's also going to want a hefty price tag. And don't think Jakobi Meyers is not going to want to get his bag, bro. Like, you're up there in age. You've been one of those guys that's been overlooked for 7 years in the NFL. You're finally starting to get a little respect. Why haven't the Raiders paid him? What is the problem? What are they waiting for? You know what the Raiders have? The Raiders salary cap for 2026 over the cap, an astonishing $99.176 million flipping dollars next year over the cap. Why isn't Jakobi Meyers signed? Why isn't he under contract? It's none of our business, really. But as fans, I want to know, why isn't he signed? Does he want too much money? Does he want too many years? Do the Raiders think they have his replacement in Jack Beck and Dante Thornton? Trey Tucker? Do they think that maybe you go get a number one like Terry McLaurin, put him on one side and put a Dante Thornton on the other, and put Trey Tucker in the middle at the slot, or Jack Beck, or whoever, sub guys in and out? Maybe that's what the Raiders are thinking. I don't know. I'm not in their head. But if it was me, that's what I would be thinking. If I'm trying to win now, like Pete Carroll says, like Spytek says, like Tom Brady says, like Geno Smith says, he's not here to roll the dice, right? He's not here to roll the dice. He's here to win now. Go get him a guy that's had 1,000 yards every season in the NFL. You want to know what Terry Scary? Oh shit, where'd that go? Okay, hold up. You want to know what Terry Scary? Which one is it? Terry Scary's quarterbacks. If you don't know, Terry McLaurin, right? Asked for a trade. And I know this could all be speculation. Maybe he doesn't want to be traded. Maybe the Washington Commanders pay him the money and don't let him go. But when it gets to a point that a player asked for a trade, he's not happy with the organization, he feels disrespected, you give your all, 1,000 yards every single year for this team with quarterbacks like, damn it, why ain't this list pulled up? You just fucked up my whole scenario. Quarterbacks like Dwayne Haskins. Practice? Come on. Casey Keenum, Colt McCoy, Tom Brady, Cam Newton, Dwayne Haskins, Casey Keenum, Colt McCoy, 6 yards shy of 1,000 yards rookie year. 2020, 2021. Terry McLaurin continued to play with Haskins, Colt McCoy, and also Tyler Heineke. Oh, we've had this discussion the other day about Tyler Heineke is a way better backup than Aiden O'Connell, but he's getting his job taken by a first place kid that's taken 8 years in the NFL to finally figure it out. Sounds like a Geno. Just saying. Tyler Heineke, 1,000-yard season plus 1,000-yard season. 2022, Carson Wentz. Okay, now I like Carson Wentz. I've always liked Carson Wentz. I think that dude got the raw end of the stick, the shit end of it. But a lot of people have said, his character, his attitude in the locker room, a lot of that, had to do with it. And I don't know. I'm not Carson Wentz, but I thought the man could always play, right? His rookie year, he takes a team that nobody thought had a shot to the Super Bowl and then gets hurt and can't play in it. I'd be kind of bitter too, right? You still get a ring, but man, I'm sure he wanted to have something to do, with winning that game. So I always thought Carson Wentz was decent. Carson Wentz, Tyler Heineke again, Tyler Heineke and Sam Howell. The same Sam Howell that didn't he get traded to Seattle? Or isn't he in Minnesota now? Where is Sam Howell? But another quarterback that I always thought was decent, reminds me a little bit of Baker Mayfield with his frame, his arm, his willingness to just sling the ball in anywhere and not worry about it. I like Sam Howell. I thought, in the right system with the right coaching, again, like any quarterback. I mean, Tom Brady is 6th overall pick, won Super Bowl after Super Bowl after Super Bowl with no athleticism, just a great mind and a will to win. So right system, right mindset, any of these guys could have been good. Still, 1,000-yard season. 1,000-yard season. Jaden Daniels comes in. 1,000-yard season. Little less, 1,000-yard season than usual. But still, 1,000-yard season. So when you look at those quarterbacks that Terry McLaurin has been playing with, and you look at the quarterbacks that Jakobi Meyers had played with. Now, I don't know how Terry McLaurin can block. I've tried to watch some full games. They don't really ask him to block too much. He's a threat, right? He's a weapon. You're not going to ask him to do too much, but when he is asked to, it doesn't look like he's shying away from it, right? I mean, he's not Michael Mayer out there coming around in motion, but he could be, right? He could be. So Terry McLaurin is a weapon. Is the price right? I just said the Raiders have $99 million projected over the cap next year for 2026. That's enough money to make a lot of moves, right? A lot of moves if they want to. These nuts. Someone has to catch the passes by default. I mean, yeah, someone does have to catch passes. God Family Raider for life. What's good, man? I appreciate you, my guy. Just seen you popping in, and I'll get to the chat here in a second. I'm just on my little soapbox. Let me start this so I know where I'm at. All right, we good. And I'll scroll back down to the bottom so I can see the shit when it pops up. Yeah, I'm learning. But yeah, man, Terry McLaurin, dude, he's a threat. He's a great route runner. He's gonna ask for the safety to be over there to help almost every single play. Especially with a guy like Geno, who can throw on a string, on a laser, downfield. I mean, if you've watched this guy in camp, however I feel about Geno's turnover or, the way he processes the game, that doesn't matter. When he has time, this man he's elite. I said it. He's elite. His arm downfield is elite. Like, Pete Carroll wasn't lying. Now, the rest of the game, it'll come. And if he puts it all together, he could be one of the scariest quarterbacks in the NFL. I'm not going to lie, with the weapons he has. But you give him a guy like Terry McLaurin, and I think everything changes. Like, I think we have enough guys that can block, in certain run schemes if you need to, with the Michael Mayer, with Brock Bowers, with Jack Besh, with Ian Thomas, the third tight end, as everybody's projected. Some people are saying we might keep 4 tight ends, which, if we're going to run a lot of 12 and 13 personnel, I don't know why you wouldn't keep 4 tight ends. You know why else I know you wouldn't keep 4 tight ends? Special teams. We've seen what special teams is going to be, right? Guys are lined up right next to each other. Who are the fastest, strongest guys that you can put out there on the line that can get out there, and block or make plays? Tight ends. So there's going to be a lot of tight ends, I believe, out there on special teams. If I was a coach, that's what I would do. I would put my best special teams, my strongest special teams guys out there in that situation. And those are guys, when you're on the kickoff, definitely the tight ends that can block. They're fast. They can move around. Athletic, mobile, right? So you're going to put those dudes out there. So, with all that being said, the ties all make sense, right? If Terry McLaurin doesn't want to be there, if he feels disrespected by the team because they haven't paid him already, which players do, you don't think so? Just call and get a hold of them and ask them. I'm sure if you could, they would tell you, man. At your job, if you're sitting there, the first one to work, the last one to leave, doing more work than everybody else, 8 or 10 hours a day, for 7 years, and nobody notices, you don't get no raise, but everybody around you is getting paid. Guys that have been there for a year or two, are you going to feel disrespected? Are you going to be happy with your job? Hell no, you're not. Hell no, you're not. So these players do get like that. Micah Parsons is another one. Stay tuned. We will get to Micah Parsons in a minute. It's even better than Terry McLaurin. So this is my opinion. If you're in win now mode, like everybody says they are, the whole entire staff and players, yes, if it's possible, if it doesn't cost a crazy amount, if you're not giving up first round picks, second round picks, third round picks, or even fourth round picks for that matter, fifth, sixth, or seventh, yeah, you could throw those in there. I'm cool with that. If you're not being crazy and throwing Jakobi Meyers with a Tyree Wilson just to throw him in there, like I've seen people talk about Tyree Wilson, Jakobi Meyers, and Trey Tucker. I've seen crazy shit. So I don't think it's going to be that much, right? If somebody wants to be traded and they want out, the other team has the upper hand. You have bargaining chips, right? If somebody doesn't want to be there and feels disrespected, and I feel that's the case. It's been going on too long, and once a player says, all right, man, I want to be traded, it's either one or two things. It's the last stand or dance to try to get what he wants for that team to say, okay, man, we'll pay you the money, right? Which a lot of times is the case, but a lot of times the case is they're just done. They're just done. Have you ever been in a relationship, where you keep going back, or you keep having those booty calls, and then something happens, or you find her cheating or messing around, and you're just done, block all the numbers, wash all the ties. That shit happens. It happens. Some people get to that point. So that could be the point for Terry McLaurin and for Micah Parsons, which we will talk about really, really soon. So again, let me know how y'all feel. Let me get to these comments real quick, and then we will get into the rest one. I would go that if we have a wide receiver, it comes to take a wide receiver in the first round next year. I hope they go defense with a lot of draft next year. And see, that makes, all the sense in the world too. I mean, if you go get a guy like Terry McLaurin, yes, you're paying him a lot of money, but you've seen how the Raiders have done it. We've brought in minority owners that have billions. These dudes didn't come buy into this team to lose. They didn't spend billions of dollars to buy into this franchise for us to be 4-13, for us to be, 7-9. That's not what these guys came to do. They're not here for that, right? They want to win. These are high-paid, $1 million winners their whole life, investors, even Tom Brady, Seymour. These are guys that want to win. They want to win. They want to win now. Spytek wants to build his legacy. Pete Carroll wants to keep his going. If that's what you want to do, you spend the money you have. We got $30 million still on the books after signing Colton Miller, because they extended most of it to his last 2 years of his contract. If you don't know, Colton Miller, $66 million contract, right? He signed for 3 more years. A lot of people think that goes to the next 3 years. No. $66 million guaranteed. That's this year and next year split up, I do believe. So he has, maybe they'll be smart, like I keep telling players, and split that guaranteed money up to 4 years, so you don't have these contract problems keep coming up and arising. But people don't listen to me. So, he gets that money up front. I do believe he has guaranteed money this year, and will be a Raider for the next 4 years, not 3, because he still has this year under contract. They just extended 3 more. And like I said, gets that guaranteed money. So, Jakobi is a stud playing the way he plays, no bitch with no contract. He is a stud, and he's been doing it, like I said, for a long, long time. And that, when you've been doing that for a long time, and you see all these players around you getting way more money than what you deserve, you're not, and you got to take into consideration that a lot of these agents are greedy, man. Like, Some of them do, but a lot of them, they don't care about these players, dude. They're trying to get paid. They got 20 damn clients. Like, how really personal can you be? Constantly to all these dudes. And they know what money's in the NFL, right? It's, if you don't think it's all about money in the NFL, for some players it's not. I'm not accusing everybody, but agents don't do this shit for free. They don't do it because they love players or they love the NFL. Like, that's their job. That's what they get paid to do. I think he signs a contract within 2 weeks, and I hope he does. I really hope he does. Look, as a fan, I don't want Jakobi Meyers to go nowhere. I think he deserves to be a Raider. He deserves to get paid and be a Raider. And if he wants to be a Raider, as long as he keeps producing and showing out, then he deserves to be here. But if I take my Raider blinders off, as a guy looking on the outside saying, damn, if they had a guy that could stretch the field, because like I said earlier, I don't see Jakobi Meyers getting a lot of deep balls, right? I don't see him creating a lot of double teams. Terry McLaurin is going to be wide open, I don't know how many times, deep, I guarantee you, if it's one-on-one coverage, sometimes even double coverage. It's just a different style, right? Jakobi brings you that short game, that Rich Gannon kind of offense we used to run back in the day, where they throw the ball 5, 10, 15 yards, and they hit you with that do 20, 80 yards to Jerry Rice down the field, or Tim Brown. We used to have that. It's been a long, long time. It's been a long, long time. But that's what Geno brings. That's what Jakobi Meyers brings. He's that guy that's gonna do the dirty work. He's gonna get those short out routes, the comeback routes, the inside routes, the drag routes. Right? That's his game. That's what he's gonna do. Not saying he can't beat you deep, because he can. He can run every route there is. I'm just saying he's not gonna call for a double team as much as a guy like Terry McLaurin. Right? Terry McLaurin is a lot bigger threat deep, and he's proven it every year in the NFL. Over 1,000 yards with way worse offensive lines than we've had, with way worse teams on the Commanders than we had. Some of those teams on the Commanders were pretty bad, pretty damn bad, all around. Run game, offense, receiver wise, they were okay. Tight end, decent, but not the greatest there. So to me, looking on the outside, if you're trying to win now, you go get a guy like Terry McLaurin. But what do you trade for him? That's the question. If it's Jakobi Meyers and the Raiders are, having question, thinking whether they want to sign Jakobi, are they, like he said, is it going to be 2 weeks? Is it going to be tomorrow? Is it going to be Monday morning? Is it going to be Sunday night? To shock everybody. Maybe they do it right after I end this live, because they're like, I'm tired of RaidersRebel talking shit about us. Maybe they do it then. I don't know. Or maybe when we make up, they might say, damn, the Raiders have traded Terry McLaurin for Jakobi Meyers, blah, 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 and, 2 second-round picks. Who knows? But like I said, let me know how y'all feel. I feel like he would just be huge for this team. But I also feel like the offense has been killing it in camp, and it's only camp. And how good is our defense? Are they getting pressure on these quarterbacks? Because, again, another day where the defense stepped it up a lot. It was kind of, pretty close. But the offense, again, just looks better out there. Why do you mess that up? Why do you ruin that chemistry? I don't know. But you also have to look at the fact that Pete Carroll has an in over there, right? The head coach over there in Washington. Who is it? Right? Who is it? It's a Pete Carroll protege. All he's got to do is pick up the phone and say, man, what's going on over here? Are you looking to trade him? Can we talk to him? Right? We have a lot of inside scoop on that. So I don't feel like the Raiders want to trade at all. But maybe the Commanders come calling. Maybe they call. Maybe that's Terry McLaurin's destination. Maybe that's, he says, I want to be traded and I want to go play for Pete Carroll. I don't know. If the Raiders sign anyone else, they're going to be a backup only if this team has to be gelling together. Let me put that up there. Gelling together for a new point. I think we go with who we have unless we need a backup. And the offensive line, the offense has looked wild out there, bro. They've looked unstoppable, nonstop, and I don't see why you'd mess that up. But I have to bring up the point that, I hope your night is well. I don't know. These nuts, what's good. I have to bring up the point that if he's out there and you're trying to win now, bro, it's a damn good way to win now, right? It's a proven guy. And how many proven receivers do we have on this team? And I know you're trading one receiver for another proven receiver, but again, Jakobi Meyers, if you look at the attempts to their yards, it's not even close, man. It's not even close. So just something to think about. Geno will be a top 10, I believe. Nice. Didn't get Geno sit on the bench for a while, though. Isn't anyone worried about that? No, Geno sat on the bench for, 7 years? But that was 5 years ago. He played 4 years ago. He's played the last 4 years. He's good. Daryl, what's good, my guy? Appreciate you. How's it going in Alaska? I don't know much, but that would make me worried. A little bit. I'm just worried about the turnovers. That's all I'm worried about. All right, man. So, yes, Raiders loading on offense, mostly drafts. Yes. It's good that Geno sat for a long time. He's been in the league. He will be a fresher quarterback. But is it, though? Is it? Does it really work that way? I know when I got hit by a dump truck and I couldn't work for almost 2 years, it took a long time to get my muscle memory back. And I did this shit for 28 years before I got hurt. And maybe because I was so old when it happened, but I don't know. Sitting that long. Big Rich was good. Sorry it took so long. I'm trying to get through all this shit. Packers have a knack for stealing gems of free agency. Yeah, Charles Woodson. Anyone? Show some respect. I appreciate you, Fanatic. I appreciate you. Yeah, I know Geno Smith was a former Notre Dame product. What? Did you know Geno Smith is gonna make a difference that much better? I don't know. The D will go all out when the scrimmage with the 49ers comes. Let's talk about that. Right? When is that? Tomorrow, right? Scrimmage with the 49ers. How's that going to turn out? Who's going to be the quarterback out there? Is it going to be Aiden O'Connell? It's a scrimmage. Are they going to throw Geno, right? Because if it's a scrimmage, you want to know what your starter has against their starters, right? Last time we had a scrimmage, Max Crosby was out there, right? Starter against starter. So, commitment to excellence, baby. How's that going to look? How are y'all going to feel if this offense goes out there and just shits the bed against the 49ers? A solid defense, that a team that went through a lot of ups and downs last year and ended up very, very down from their Super Bowl the year before. How's that going to turn out for the 49ers? But how are we going to feel? If this defense, gives up a bunch of points to the 49ers and Brock Purdy, who everybody says is not better than Geno Smith? Let me know about that. How are we going to feel? Because we got to keep that same energy, man. We got to keep the same energy. It's all good here in Alaska. It was a hot day, 71. Bro, it was chilly here today in Arkansas. It rained last night. It rained a little bit this morning. And the temperature went from like 90-something degrees to, it was like in the 60s or something. And right now, I think it's like almost in the 50s in the middle of summer. I don't know what is going on. Craziest shit I've ever seen. Gino was a Notre Dame guy? I don't know. Myself, I don't want Terry. If we have enough weapons to feed, we definitely need to feed them. If we had Terry, it wouldn't be. He'd be bitching that he wasn't getting enough passes thrown his way at aka Diva Devontae. I mean that's another big question. Is he going to be a diva? Is he going to want the ball too much? Do you bring in a guy like that when you have a Brock Bowers? So, again, I'll answer all these questions. My final answer before I get off, I think both quarterbacks should play versus the Niners joint practice. I mean, yeah, I want to see all of them. I want to see Cam Miller out there, but it is what it is. I think Brock Purdy is highly overrated. I mean, I've said this on this channel a million times. A quarterback is only a product of the players around him. A great quarterback is only a product of the players around him. Put Tom Brady on the Jets when he was, winning all those games. Put Tom Brady on the Browns when he was winning all those games with the same roster. I don't think he wins all those Super Bowls. I don't even know if he makes it to all those playoffs. So, it's iffy with Purdy. He's a last overall pick, right? Mr. Irrelevant. He gets out over a lot of good players, right? He beats out Trey Lance, makes him get traded. He was drafted 3rd overall. Trey Lance drafted 3rd overall. Brock Purdy drafted 7th overall. But people say he's highly overrated. Like, I don't get it. A highly overrated 7th Mr. Irrelevant came in and beat out a Trey Lance, who had a pretty good game. Shout out to Trey Lance last night. Maybe he's putting it all together. But I don't see Brock Purdy being overrated. I think he's a product of a system. I think he's a product of a great running game, a solid-ass offensive line, lots of weapons to throw to. And it's the same thing Gino's going to be, a product of a system. But to be a product of a system and be great, you can't make mistakes. You can't turn it over because you're not that good of a quarterback. Obviously, if people say, you're overrated, then you're not that guy that can come back and win games like a Derek Carr, who's done it more than anybody in the NFL, or 4th overall all time. So, it's questionable. It's questionable. Also, the Niners will give us the best idea of what our rookie receivers look like against our defense. Yes, that's facts. I mean, I like the scrimmages. I like the scrimmage games. I just don't like the fact that sometimes, people get in trouble and we can end up, losing guys for the season or some shit because guys want to fight and get rowdy. Where I live, it rains all the time. Then after that, hot and sunny comes back. Yeah, and then humid probably. Does it get humid there? Brady won 7 of the last 9 Super Bowl games. I know. Again, product of the system. He had one of the best coach in the history of the NFL in Bill Belichick. He has, like him or not as a head coach, Dick Daniels, one of the greatest offensive coordinators will go down probably in history. He did win 5 Super Bowls with the Patriots. So it's a product of his system. He had Gronkowski. He had, always a solid running game. He had Wes Welker. He had, what's the other little smaller receiver he had? Brady had weapons around him. It's not like Brady was, I'm not taking anything away from Brady. I'm just saying you can put a guy like Purdy or a guy like Gino in those systems, and if you don't turn the ball over, you win lots of Super Bowls. But if you make mistakes because you don't study film and you don't, read defenses and you don't know that they're really running a cover 2 instead of a cover 3, or they're really, sneaking a cover 3 sky instead of a Tampa 2 defense, which, if you don't read your playbook and you're not into that, you're going to throw the ball at the wrong time And the safety or the linebacker is going to do exactly what he's supposed to do. Pop in the window that you don't see him from because you're focused and you're throwing the ball, in a window that you shouldn't be because you didn't know the defense or where the guy was, supposed to be. And it happens all the time. But if you're a great quarterback like Tom Brady, who studies everybody, who everybody said is, can evaluate a player with, I've heard not just Gronkowski say it, but I've heard, Wes Welker, a bunch of guys say that Tom Brady can evaluate talent just by looking at a guy, for a couple minutes on the field and be like, okay, this is what he does. This is his weaknesses. This is his strengths. So mindset, not always athleticism. And, Brock Purdy seems like a smart kid, right? He seems like a smart kid. I tell you, intelligence as a quarterback in the NFL will win over athleticism every time. Ask Tom Brady. I'm just saying. You can be the fastest quarterback of all time. You can be mobile, right? You can have the greatest arm. But if you don't have the highest intelligence, higher than everybody out there on the field, man, it's the quarterback is always been the most intelligent position on the field. You're running a whole entire offense. You have to know what every one of those 11 guys on defense are doing, plus the 11 guys on your offense, what routes they're running, when they stop their routes, when they come back. That's a lot of information to process. You have to be a brilliant mind to play quarterback. And, they don't run a lot of enough tests on these quarterbacks coming out of college, in my opinion, to know if they're capable of processing that much information in short amount of times or quick amount of time sometimes. And I think that's what makes or breaks a quarterback, in my opinion. It's not about your arm strength. It's not about how mobile you are or, how accurate you are. It's really about how much information you can process, how fast, and how many positions you can know where everybody's doing at every time. And those who can do that win 7 Super Bowls. He lost 2 other Super Bowls to Eli Manning of the Giants. Another guy, not very athletic, not the strongest arm, right? Not the greatest accuracy, but he was smart as hell, kind of like his brother Peyton Manning. Very smart quarterbacks. They know everything about the game, every aspect. They don't focus about anything else. They're not worried about anything but learning every possible detail they can about defenses, offenses. And, that's what it takes to be the best at any sport is dedication. And yeah, that's crazy. You lost 2 Super Bowls. It's like, fucking what? You lost 2? But you won how many? So you've been to how many Super Bowls? You can't say that's a quarterback. I don't know how anybody could say Tom Brady always says Tom Brady won all these Super Bowls. No, the Patriots, they had one of the best defenses, a top 5 defense almost every year they won the Super Bowl. Almost every year. That's teamwork, bro. That's teamwork. The fuck did I get so far up here? All right. Eli Manning had good weapons on offense. Manning, Cruz, Nix, Jacobs. Yeah, of course you got to have good weapons, but you got to know how to get them the ball. Brady is the minority owner and helps scouts players and helps with football operations, similar to what Al Davis did when he was the owner. Mark is just a money guy. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing, man. It's a good thing he has all that money, and it's a good thing he's, bringing in guys to do what we need him to do, right? Help us win games. Help us know how to win. Learn how to win. Get the feeling of win. Get it in your muscle memory, right? What it feels like to win. Hating losing. That's what we need. What does Tom Brady do? He is working with the Raiders or something. Oh, okay. He already answered that. All right. So, man, let's get into this. Next question. Michael Parsons. Do you go after Michael Parsons? Does Michael Parsons want to be a Raider? Would he be a Raider? Could he be a Raider? Well, in the latest report coming out, We all know Parsons has requested a trade. CBS Sports echoes Raiders as logic trade destination. Now, the latest polls have come out in all the sports books, all the sports apps online, and the Raiders are number one on the list in the running to land Michael Parsons if he was traded. Now, again, this is just talk. This is just rumors. But usually, when you look at these rumors and you look at the teams that are labeled to get these guys, this year, last year, a lot of those guys went to those teams. You don't think these betting apps and online gambling and casinos have inside sources with every single person that has to do with something in the NFL? They know everything, just like these reporters, or they wouldn't be able to place these bets and they'd lose millions and millions of dollars. So the Raiders are number one landing spot in the latest report by this and three others. There's three different ones. This is the fourth one that I've seen by CBS Sports, and they're probably all just reading each other's shit, but who knows? Supporting the betting market confidence, CBS Sports recently listed the Raiders as the top trading destination for Parsons. These analysts pointed to Las Vegas Raiders' cap flexibility at $37 million in 2025 and an aggressive team building approach. Pairing Parsons with Max Crosby would be the sickest fucking thing on the planet that anybody's ever seen. Stop. That's not what it says. I ad-libbed. I'm just saying. Pairing Parsons with Max Crosby, the player he is tied with for more quarterbacks pressures in NFL since 2021, would give Las Vegas the most fearsome pass rushing duo in the NFL and possibly the history of the NFL. I mean, maybe not even possibly, more likely, definitely. There's no words. There's no words at all. Garrett Padell wrote, the Las Vegas Raiders are also familiar with the price necessary to acquire a talent like Parsons, given they traded away a similar one in Khalil Mack back in 2018. To add to this, analysts, the Raiders, as of now, currently lead the NFL in projected salary cap, like I read earlier, according to Over to the Cap, with an astonishing $99.176 million. So, given Parsons and an extension will not be a problem for the Las Vegas Raiders. I repeat, will not be a problem for the Las Vegas Raiders. Money is not the issue. Michael Parsons is worth the price. The odds don't come out. They do not come out of thin air. There's a reason why the Raiders are top on the leaderboard. Does anybody want to know what those reasons are? Can you get a thumbs up, a comment, a one, something, kiss my ass in the chat? Let me know if you want to know. Why the Raiders are top on the board. The Raiders understand from past mistakes of trading Khalil Mack that they want to be on the other end of acquiring an elite pass rusher. So are they looking for an elite pass rusher? You know, do they have one in Malcolm Kuntz, which I thoroughly believe Malcolm Kuntz can be that guy. No, he's not a Michael Parsons, but man, he could be up there. Among players with 300 plus snaps played since 2023, Parsons has finished first in pressures per game with 6.6 in 2023. That's right. First in pressures, not Max Crosby like everybody says. Oh, but Max Crosby, he has all the pressures and the tackles for loss. Yeah, I love Max, bro, but some people just give players too much credit, and then no other players not enough. Not enough. Among players with 300-plus snaps played since 2003, Parsons has finished first in pressures per game, like I said, with 6.6 in 2023, 5.38 pressures in 2024. And he is one of just 4 players since 1982 to record 10 sacks in each of their first 4 NFL seasons. Let me repeat that. He is one of just 4. And one of those 4 is not Max Crosby. Just one of 4 players since 1982 to record 10-plus sacks in each of his first 4 seasons. So Micah Parsons is worth every penny. Do you go get Micah Parsons? Do you trade for him? Do you give him everything you can? Absolutely 100%. You go get Micah Parsons. He is the best, possibly the best, and it's a very, very, very close. But if you look at his stats from his rookie year in the first 4 years, like they said, 10 plus, right now he is on pace to be the best defensive end of possibly all time. Now, I know everybody wants to believe it's going to be Max Crosby, and, Raider fans, should believe that. But Max Crosby also, has a lot of pressures that don't end up in sacks. Michael Parsons doesn't, right? When he gets back there, it's usually bullseye, dead money. That's why he's had 10-plus sacks in each of his first 4 years. So he's worth every penny. I'm going to give you another reason why Micah Parsons, let me put this phone down. I'm going to give you another reason why Micah Parsons is worth every single penny of whatever money he's asking, whatever you want to trade for him. Yes, absolutely. Max Crosby only signed 2-year deal. Now, you could say it's a 4-year deal, but if we look at history, over history and time, guaranteed money runs out. So does your contract, right? You want a new one. Gladiator, what's good? I appreciate you. You want a new contract. Max Crosby's 4-year contract is only guaranteed for 2 years. And those 2 years come up, he's going to want more money. Now, if he's having problems with injuries, which I don't think he will, if he's having less than 10 sacks a season, which he's had, do you keep paying him the highest paid, second, third paid, highest paid player in the NFL that's not a quarterback? Or would you bring in a guy like Micah Parsons and, put him next to Max Crosby and let him go head to head? And then you see the work ethic from these guys. We already know who's the best work ethic. It's Max Crosby. But Michael Parsons in the building, learning from Max, getting better. Both of those guys, iron sharpening iron, it takes coal to polish diamonds and shit. So, these guys together would be the most dynamic duo, and he's worth every single penny. And again, you bring in a guy that's only been in the league for 4 years. You sign him to a huge, ridiculous, 4 or 5 year deal with a bunch of money guaranteed. That makes the price of him, way less. Alex, what's good? That makes the price of Micah Parsons way, way less. If you sign him to a 4 or 5 year, 6 year even, I mean, he's a guy why wouldn't you sign to a 6-year deal, right? And every year that he's been in the NFL, even with the beat up defense, not guys behind him, the stars behind him, Hurt and Diggs and everybody else back there. I can't think of the safety's name right off the top of my head, a guy that I was trying to get the Raiders to trade for. When you look at those scenarios, Micah Parsons is 100% worth it. So, what else did they say? Of course, trading for Parsons won't come cheap. The Cowboys will likely ask for a package starting with multiple first-round picks or a combination of premium picks and proven talent. But when it comes to acquiring a 26-year-old elite, elite edge rusher, the price is absolutely justified, bro. 1,100,000,000%, my 2 cents. So, you know, if you have a chance to go get a guy like a Micah Parsons, in my opinion, and hold up, what is his salary? In my opinion, you pull the trigger. You pull the trigger. Now, this is not to mention the fact that what the fuck just happened to my camera? Son of a bitch. Hold up. Wait a minute. What the fuck is going on? Dude, so what's going on with this camera? It hasn't done this in 3 days, and now all of a sudden it's doing it again. It's some bullshit. It has a mind of its own. Our YouTube is just tired of me and is like, shut up, get off the airwaves. It's probably the case. Alright, man. If this camera don't come on, y'all have a good night. Don't have a good night yet. Oh, we're back. I don't know what the hell happened. Alright, man. So, I don't know what the hell happened. That's crazy. But yeah, man, sorry, I'm trying to type up a salary contract right now. You know, if you have a chance to go get an elite player like a Micah Parsons, you have to go do it. With Max Crosby only having 2 years guaranteed, you sign Malcolm Kuntz to a 1-year deal. I mean, I love Malcolm Kuntz more than anything, but this is the only scenario where I'd be willing to say, okay, I'll give you Tyree Wilson. I'll give you Tyree Wilson and Malcolm Kuntz, you know, and we'll talk about the first round pick, maybe a third, you know, whatever, throw in another player. We have a lot right now, guys that have been shining, showing out that, you know, we have some guys we could throw around, in my opinion. So my opinion on Micah Parsons is 100,000 million trillion billion %. Absolutely. Absolutely. So cap hit for 2025 is 24 million. His earnings was 17 million. Come on, man. 17 mil for 10 sacks every season he's been in the NFL. Keep Meyers. I agree. Keep Meyers. I mean, you would hope. But again, like I said, when a player gets to that point where they feel disrespected, where they feel like the team doesn't value, you know, their work ethic and what they've put into the team, you know, you get past that point that it really doesn't matter about the money, right? It doesn't matter about the money. But if the team doesn't want to trade you or get rid of you, there's not shit you could do about it. So Micah Parsons, 2021, $666,000. 2022, he made 1.4 mil. 23, he made 2.2 mil. 2025 or 2024, he made. Are you kidding me? Oh, that's his base salary. No way. Under 3 mil. 2000, what the hell? Oh yeah, he's on rookie contract. That is wild. So, I mean, dude, he's on you know, 5th-year option, right? That's what they're talking about right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So he's on his 5th-year option, bro. You pay Micah Parsons every single dime that he wants and is asking. You don't pass up a deal like this. And why are the Raiders #1 on that list in the running? Well, Micah Parsons recently went on Twitter or whatever he went on, whatever interview he was in, and said he admired the Raiders organization, how Spytek and the organization went about handling Max Crosby's business, taking care of Max Crosby, their star player, before they dealt with anybody else, before they signed their rookies, before they went to, even drafted their rookies. He shouted out the Las Vegas Raiders and how they did things. Now, my question is, there was a little debate we had on Instagram between, some other content creators who said the question is why, tired of everybody talking about these high paid free agents and Terry McLaurin and Micah Parsons, why would anybody want to come to Las Vegas? So let me ask you right now in the comments below, if you're a diehard Raider fan and you bleed silver and black, answer this question. Why do you feel anybody would want to come to the Las Vegas Raiders? And do you feel that this is a team that can't attract Terry McLaurin or a Micah Parsons? After what I just read you of Micah Parsons saying how he respected the Raiders organization and how they've, gone about taking care of their players, and now that they've signed Colton Miller before the season started, let me know. Do you feel other players would want to be in Las Vegas and play for the Las Vegas Raiders? Because I'm gonna give you my take. Spytek, Carroll. Now, we argued back and forth. I gave all my reasons. Max Crosby, Geno Smith, Ashton Genty, no tax in Vegas, right? I mean, everything screams Las Vegas. The upward trajectory we're going. Pete Carroll being here for 3 years, being the talk of the nation. That shit goes, the players talk more than anybody. So if players are talking and players like Micah Parsons is shouting out the Raiders, you don't think Terry McLaurin's looking over there going, damn, yes, they're having a same situation, right? The same situation with I guess you would say a star receiver in Jakobi Meyers. So is he looking over here going, well, damn, they haven't taken Jakobi Meyers. Are they going to take care of me? But could the Raiders be like, well, maybe we're having a problem because you're having a problem. Where are you going to go, right? So the facilities are one of the top facilities. Yes, thank you, LVR. The facilities are the top facilities in all of the NFL. The stadium is one of the top state-of-the-art stadiums right now in all of the NFL. So why in the hell couldn't we attract a Terry McLaurin or a Micah Parsons? To me, it doesn't make sense. So dude is trying to tell me that, we have bad luck with free agents, and that can be, right? That could be. You could look at Devontae Adams, but if you look at the Devontae Adams situation, that wasn't drafting a bad player. That was drafting one of the greatest receivers of all time, that when he got here, you got rid of his quarterback. That was a mishandling of upper management. We don't have that upper management anymore. We have a new regime in Spytek and Pete Carroll and Tom Brady, the GOAT, right? Minority owner. So we don't have that shit anymore that we used to have with those old regimes that weren't Raiders, that were Patriots, that were trying to bring their Patriot way over here. And I know Tom Brady's a Patriot, but he also, loved Al Davis and everything this organization is stand for. So I don't think he's trying to bring that Patriot way over here, because if he was, he would have brought Bill Belichick, or he would have brought, Mike Vrabel over here, and would have brought that Patriot way to the Raiders. I don't think that's what he's trying to do. That's why he brought in Spytek. That's why he brought in Pete Carroll. I think he wants to bring the Raider way back. So when you have that and you see, all the things like you just said, all the things I mentioned, why wouldn't guys want to come here? Like, I don't understand. And why are Raider fans so worried about, drafting players because they don't work out? Rich Gannon worked out just fine. Ronnie Lott worked out just fine. Bringing Charles Woodson worked just fine back. Signing a guy like what the hell? I always forget his damn name. Casey Hayward, right, from the Chargers for 1 year, only gave up 7 passes all year long. I think that worked out pretty good. He got screwed by upper management, got let go the next year. If you think about Devontae Adams, right, he came in, had 2 of his best seasons with Derek Carr. They screwed that up, or with Derek Carr and with Aiden. They screwed that shit up. So we haven't always brought in horrible. Yes, we've brought in a lot of high paid, way overpaid guys. Corey Littleton, Christian Wilkins, right? It goes on and on of guys we brought in. Who else did we bring in? I'm trying to think. A bunch of guys. But that's not my point. My point is that was the past. And, Raider fans have been living in the past so long. There is no future in the past. We cannot move forward. We cannot grow as a nation, which we are the most divided nation in the history of the planet. But we can't grow as a nation and grow as a team or a franchise if everybody's divided and not bought in on what's going on. So, man, I don't see any reason why any player in the NFL would not want to come and coach for Pete Carroll. Also, there was another report. Reason number 3 or 4. This is 5. Reason number 5, 6. What are we on? 7, 8, 9, 10. We've had luck. We've had luck with guys. We've had bad luck with guys. You could say Randy Moss, right? You could say the Steelers' damn receiver. I don't even want to say his name. But yes, we've had bad luck. We've had good luck. But that wasn't a product of the player. It never was. Like, we've had players that didn't turn out. But most of the time, those players were, it was shit before they got here, or bad organization, bad ran organization that players just didn't want to be a part of. I think it's a new day, a new era. And when you see a guy like Tom Brady being a minority owner, it changes players' minds, right? No taxes, the best stadium in the league. A guy like Pete Carroll, who was a dominant defensive guy. A guy like Micah Parsons, if he knows anything about history, if he's ever watched a Pete Carroll team at USC, if he's ever watched a Pete Carroll team at Seattle, if he's ever watched a Pete Carroll team as the Patriots or Seattle, if you ever watched those, as Michael Parsons ever watched any of those videos, the Legion of Boom, and you don't think he wants to play, Michael Parsons wants to play for a guy like Pete Carroll, you lost your ever-loving mind, bro. You have to be smoking something if you don't think that Michael Parsons would salivate at the fact of getting away from Jerry Jones to come play for an organization like the Raiders and Spytech with Patrick Graham next to Max Crosby. Come on, man. Come on. That's absolutely wild to me. So let me know y'all's opinion. Nobody wants to comment. Nobody wants to join in. I'm going to get the fuck off here. But, let me know what y'all think. What y'all think? Like, there's no way Parsons would want to come here. No way Terry McLaurin wants to be a Raider, right? Nobody else wants to come here. Jermaine Pratt in his interview said, "Why did you want to be a Raider?" He said, "I've grown up my whole life admiring and respecting Pete Carroll. I've always wanted to play for a guy like Pete Carroll. I love his philosophy on defense. I love the way he goes about attacking offenses. That's why I came to the Raiders." E-Rob says, "I've always looked up to Pete Carroll. I've always watched Pete Carroll teams. I've always wanted to play for a Pete Carroll team." Lonnie Roberts, "I've always wanted to play for a Pete Carroll team. I'm going to show everybody this is my home." Everybody we've brought in has said, "I'm here for Pete Carroll. I'm here because I want to play with Pete Carroll. I've seen what he's done. I've seen how he's coached." So I just don't get the fact that why people would think, we can't get these high price players, or we don't need high price players, and maybe we don't. But my final take is I don't feel we need to trade Jakobi Meyers, but I really, really do feel like a player like Terry McLaurin would skyrocket this team into the playoffs and make us better with a guy like Terry McLaurin than we are with Jakobi Meyers. Yes, I said it, but I also feel like Jakobi Meyers, can still get us there and get us to the playoffs with the same thing. But if he's going to be gone next year, if they're not going to sign him this year, if they plan on, going with these younger guys, why not bring in a Terry McLaurin right now? That's my take on that. Micah Parsons, it's not even a question. It's not even a question. Who do you want on the team? And how many draft picks? That's my take on that. Let me read the rest of this, and then I'm going to get out of here. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all rocking with me to 17, 19 in the building. Even though y'all don't comment and don't participate, I know y'all busy, got shit to do. I appreciate you just being here. But the ones that do, y'all my real ones, my OGs, and I appreciate you. Facts, I'll take Parsons as a number one trade target for the Raiders. We can easily backload the contract for 2026 and beyond. Pay less money for him with the signing bonus, 10 to 20 mil, to make it less for the cap. 100,000%. Like, Micah Parsons is a target for the Raiders, and if you think he's not, man, y'all gotta do more homework, bro. Get on the bandwagon. Jump on this Raider Unleashed Militia train. Like, subscribe, follow, become a member, because we are dropping content of camp, what we can get, footage we can get. I got shit going on in the works. I got people I'm trying to get on that got to schedule time. So, you know what I'm saying? We got shit going. So, follow, like, subscribe. Appreciate everybody. Tomorrow, I mean, I don't think anybody cares. Nobody's really asked about it. But tomorrow, I'll have the fantasy information. If you want to join the fantasy league, $25 to sign up. 12 people. I'll have all the shit tomorrow. It's a weekend. I got more time. I could do my thing. In Vegas, there's no taxes. Parsons would be around $38 million per year. I would pay Michael Parsons $38 million. I would pay him $40 million. I would pay him $42 million a year. If you're going to pay Max Crosby $36, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, it looks like Parsons is serious about wanting out now. Yeah, I mean, like I said, when guys get disrespected, when you give your all to a team, and then they do you dirty by trying to lowball you, trying to lowball a talent like Michael Parsons or Terry McLaurin. I mean, send them to the Raiders. So, Las Vegas Raiders, go out and get your guy. If you want your guy, we have the money. And if you want to sell more tickets in Allegiant Stadium, Michael Parsons, Terry McLaurin. If you want to sell out every jersey, if you want this to be the biggest fan base in the history of the planet, go get Michael Parsons. That's all I'm saying. Parsons also loved to play with Max, a rising D-line, Robbie Leonard, right? He wears Max Crosby shirts before games, bro. Like, Trixie Blue was good. Appreciate you. He's a big Max Crosby fan. Gladiator, if I didn't get you, I appreciate you. Outside the quarterback, maybe LT, the most valuable positions. I mean, we have players, bro. We have people we can get too. I appreciate everybody rocking with. Price Pal, didn't mean to pass you up. We're getting rid of no. Whoa. No, we're not getting rid of Jakobi. It's just talk. I'm asking, would you sign Jakobi to a long-year deal? Or if they're not going to sign him and they're planning on letting him walk next year, would you trade for Terry McLaurin? That's all I'm saying. And I gave my answer. If you don't plan on signing Jakobi this year, go get Terry McLaurin. If this organization feels like he is the missing piece to the puzzle that could help us win now, you go get Terry McLaurin. And I love Jakobi Meyers. I mean, with all my heart. But we got to realize, as fans, this is a business. It's the NFL. And, you can't get attached to players. You can't, because they come and go. So, Jakobi Meyers, I love everything he's done for the Raiders. I appreciate everything he's done for the Raiders. He's grown here. He deserves to stay here. But if this organization feels like they can get a better weapon that can help us, get where they want to be, I'm all for it. I'm 100% for it. And these glasses are killing my head. I have Michael Parsons all day. I would fear the rest of the division. Bro, people would be shitting themselves. Yeah. Sweet. If you want a burger, eat a burger. What? You want in the fantasy league? I will have everything up tomorrow. I promise. I will have all the information. It's a $25 buy-in, 12 people. The rules might take me a little long to get up, but I will have what I need from you and what you'll get from me. I will have that up tomorrow if you want to join in the community page, on my community page. And then the rest of the information, you have to DM me on Instagram. But I got to take these off because those were the wrong glasses. And I just went way too long wearing those. So I'm going to go die and cry myself to sleep because I can't see no more. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all rocking with me. Shout out to everybody in the building. Like, subscribe, become a member. I am your host, Raiders Rebel, host of Raiders Unleashed. Like, subscribe, tickle the NOTI to turn on notifications. Love on one another, respect one another, care for one another. If you need help, talk to somebody. There's millions of people out there. Take care of yourself. Love yourself. If you don't, who will? Much love. Peace. Raiders. We out.